Okay, the thing we just got is Flame. It does damage to every enemy in the area. I'm gonna shut up for the music now. Okay, I time stopped, so there goes the music, so I'm gonna start talking again. But anyway, God, this stage's theme is easily my favorite bit of original music in this game. It is just... it's so catchy and exciting! Again, clearly I'm the fake Castlevania nerd, because I don't remember if this song ever appears again, but God, it's so good! I feel like this is a song they should use more often, or at least, if Konami was making video games, they should use this song more often. Anyway, though, I'm gonna try not to talk about the music too much. I don't really get to hear the music when I do commentary, because I've got the music lowered too much for it. Which is good, because otherwise I'd just be going, dang, that's a good song, over and over again, for the whole episode. I just love this song so much. Anyway, though, yes, the flame magic we got from the previous stage also costs 5 hearts, just like the wind magic. The main difference is, wind magic is good for heavier enemies, whereas flame is good for smaller enemies like bats. If they can be taken out in a single hit, then a single flame is all you really need. But for enemies like the knight here, I would have to use Flame a whole lot in order to actually do damage. Like, if I remember correctly, Flame does about as much damage as my whip's Fireball, so, you know, it's good that it's ranged, but it's not as damaging as it just whipping something. But again, it is 5 hearts to use, so if not for the fact that you have to go to a menu to switch stuff, then I would just suggest having a mix of wind and flame to get you through the rest of the game. As it stands, though, it's just easier to use wind and stick with it, unless you really need to take care of some small enemies. But, like, if you're fast enough, you can just do the same thing by pausing time and whipping a whole lot. Also, I am not falling for those white candles. I know what happens if I hit those, and you can't stop me. You cannot stop me from advancing, you cannot trick me into doing something dumb. As it stands, this is the stage where I really needed to watch the clock. Also, if you're wondering, no, the white candles here don't take you to a lower level, but they do waste your time by spawning enemies. And again, I do not need to waste time fighting enemies, because boy, I needed to watch the clock in this one. In general, this is a stage you really shouldn't explore much in. There's actually a fair bit of horizontal and vertical movement in this stage, unlike Clock Tower, which was just, you know, mostly vertical, so you got some change-ups here and there, you know? Bit of verticality, and then we, go from right to left or left to right. Actually, I think it's usually, right to left in this stage. But anyway, yeah, managed to do a little bit of damage against this guy with the fire, but mostly that was to get rid of the bat, because I can't be bothered. I just can't be bothered. Also can't be bothered with those enemies spawning either. Anyway, though, I guess I don't have much to say about the stage itself other than, dang cool song, I love the song so much, so, you know, I've been mentioning the Castlevania timeline a decent bit these past few episodes, you know, talking about what's happened to the Belmonts, there hasn't been much, and also, you know, talking about Dracula, hasn't been much going on with him either. But I've been talking as if, you know, the Castlevania timeline is a thing that they frequently cared about and, you know, meticulously focused on trying to make sure everything fit perfectly. Oh yeah, also here's Medusa, just stand in this corner and you're good. Just duck and you'll be fine, she can't get you. But anyway, yeah, you know, I keep talking about it as though, you know, it was carefully crafted. It really wasn't. I mean, this game tried to be the first Castlevania game on the timeline when it came out, but of course this came out before Lament of Innocence, and now they've just kind of made it non-canon for a multitude of reasons. But, you know, I am still interested in the Castlevania timeline to a certain extent. I think it's kind of because it reminds me of JoJo a little bit, in that, like, you know, it is a forward progression through a weird version of history that resembles real life just enough to make it weird and kind of funny at times, but otherwise isn't, like, super interested in what actually goes on. It's just kind of background dressing, and every once in a while you get something funny, like Leon Belmont had to abandon the Crusades, and they got mad at him for it. That part's it. That part is, you know, my headcanon. Do I want to spoil, like, the best thing about the Castlevania timeline? You know, it'll be a while before I LP it, so I kind of do. And one of the games takes place around World War I, and according to the fiction in that, vampires are responsible for the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand, thus sparking World War I. Which is amazing. That's Castlevania Bloodlines, a classic-style Castlevania game that I do recommend. It's for the Genesis, but it's actually pretty good. Just play as Lucard in that game, because, boy, he's way more fun to play as. Way more fun than John Morris. Sorry, John. But he's got a spear that can attack in many directions. It's just way better. But yeah, it's just weird stuff like that is not super necessary, but adds a nice accent to everything. But yeah, other than weird bits of history, the nice thing about the Castlevania timeline is it's just... I don't think it really truly matters. It shows forward progress. All of these things are happening, you know, on a single timeline. But, like, each game kind of does its own thing. And although Castlevania has some similar tones between its games, I actually think it does a good enough job at sort of switching things up that, like, it works. It's obviously not as big a tone change as you would see in, you know, the JoJo series, but I think it's enough. And the weird thing is, of all timelines in any video games, I'm not super interested in the Zelda timeline. Because, like, I don't know, maybe it's because Fanon just pushes that one so hard without actually having any way to make it interesting, but I don't know, maybe it's because it is made up and not just based on real life but kind of weird, but I don't know. I just don't care about how the games connect a lot. Like, there are some interesting little tidbits of information, but for the most part, like, I'm fine with each game being self-contained. And I'm not going to be the person who says, like, oh, every Zelda game is the same. They're not. A lot of them are tonally different, even if they all are Zeldas and Links and all that. I do think a lot of them are tonally different. It's just, again, I kind of prefer them as their own thing. There's the Holy Water right there. Holy Water used to be my favorite sub-weapon, but I'm on the cross-train now. And also, this right here, I think this is the section I was thinking of in the last video, where respawning enemies are just super annoying. And I'm kind of running low on hearts, amongst other things. I say amongst other things because, look who's now under 100 seconds. That's right, it's me. Hey, guess what game does not indicate you're running low on time? This game, Castlevania Legends. Guess who very nearly died of a timeout? This gal. So yeah, Ages ago, I actually recorded Castlevania Legends, but I lost the footage because my laptop died or whatever. And I think I had the exact same problem when I played back then as well. I think I almost ran out of time in this stage, and then forgot that that's what happened to me. And so the same thing very nearly happened. I almost timed out. And at this point, you can see I'm kind of just bull rushing everything. Unfortunately, I can't rush the knights, but like, I can do my best. I can at least avoid the weird flower things. I don't have to care about them and their undisappearing projectiles that just keep going and going. I'm at the boss with 23 seconds, and guess what? The boss has a conversation before you get to fight him, because it's Alucard. So yes, Alucard here is one of the reasons that this game is probably not canon. Kind of because it implies Alucard is a romantic interest for Sonia. Because they have a history, and they're kind of doing the whole, oh, I don't want you to fight, I'm gonna fight instead thing. You know, the straight couples do all the time, and it's just such a tiring conversation pretty much any time it comes up. But you can ignore that, so that doesn't have to be a reason Castlevania Legends is non-canon. I just don't care about this relationship at all, so I don't think that this is a blockade to Sonia Belmont being canon. They're not going to fuck. But of course, the real reason Alucard makes this game non-canon is because he's hot. And as we all know, he is hot in Symphony of the Night, sure. However, if you've never seen Castlevania 3 Alucard, they had not yet realized that he was a Bishonen, so he just looks like this. But yeah, Castlevania Legends coming after Castlevania 3, of course, means that they were free to just make Alucard really hot as he was in Symphony of the Night. Yeah, this is a whole lot of text that I don't care about. It's just Alucard going, I don't want you to fight, so I'm gonna beat you up instead. And Sonia's like, I don't want to fight, so I'm gonna beat you up instead. Yep, we're gonna test our resolve on Alucard. We're gonna bring the shining light of hope to Alucard's face before we bring it to Transylvania. Alright, so let's fight Alucard. Burning mode immediately and just start whipping. Alucard's very aggressive and takes up a lot of the frame, but if you just start beating him up with burning mode, he can't do anything, which is good, because I only have 15 seconds left to take him down. There we go. It took a whole It took a whole bar of burning mode, but I got him. I'm sorry. I love Alucard just saying, ow! Sonia, it really hurts to get whipped. I don't like it. Don't do that. I'm not interested in this. Oh no, Sonia, I wasn't holding back. You beat the shit out of me. You can just turn immortal and then beat me up. If I was holding it back, it's because I didn't get to fight. Like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, I'm going back to bed. You beat me up too much. You're probably gonna die before I wake up. See you later. I guess I'm in love with you or whatever. Again, that's just easily ignorable. You don't have to remember that this conversation ever happened. You don't have to pretend that there's any tension between us, because it's basically non-existent. See ya! Alright, so, we get our next magic. And the floor disappears. See you next time on Castlevania Legends, when we fall to hell.